This video tutorial will demonstrate how to use the most common features in Empire Expense. In this video, we will demonstrate how to add, modify, delete, submit, approve, and correct an expense row. We will also show you how to configure the expense sheet using different setup options. Let's begin. First, log into your account. From the home page, click the Time link in the menu bar, and then click the Expense tab. If you have the Timesheet Information portal configured on your homepage, you can click the expense link to go directly to the expense sheet. Click Add Row to add a new expense sheet row so you can begin tracking expenses against a specific project. Let's begin by filling in the expense row information. Select a project from the commonly used Project Smart List, or type the first few characters of the client name or project name in the Client Project field. Select the client and project that you incurred expenses for. Select the expense type from the drop-down list. Select the payment type. Select the expense currency. Select the expense date by clicking the calendar, or type in the incurred date in the date field. Enter the expense amount. If the expense currency is the same as your reimbursement currency, the rate field will be locked. If they are different, the system will suggest an exchange rate, which you can override if your expense exchange rate is different. Click Add to save your entry, or click Clear to discard your data and start over. Now review your entry. A new row has been added to your expense sheet. Click the paper icon to add a comment to your entry. Then click Save. If you want to attach a photo of the expense receipt, click the paperclip icon. This will launch the Upload Receipt panel. Click the Display Gallery link to review your saved receipt photos, or click on the Add Files link to browse for several saved receipt photos that are not in your gallery. Click Upload to attach the receipt photos to the expense gallery. You can change the date, incurred amount, and exchange rate directly within the row, or you can click the client and project name link to modify the entry in the expense panel. Click the desired client name to launch the Modify Expense Sheet panel. You can edit the client, project, expense type, payment method, currency, date, and amount as needed. You can also add another receipt photo from the combined images into Receipt panel. Click Modify to save your changes, or click Clear to start over. Next, I will show you how to submit and approve an expense sheet. Depending on the permissions your administrator has defined for you, there is either a Submit or Approve link in the toolbar. Click Submit to submit all entries in the current expense sheet. Click Approve to submit and approve all current expense sheet entries. The expense sheet status will be updated to show awaiting approval if the user has submit a permission, or approved if the user has approved permission. Next, I will show you how to correct a row. If you have correction permission, there will be a correction icon in the toolbar. Click the correction icon to make your changes using the in-cell editing. Then click Save. Note that your expense sheet status has changed to active and the correction level has been updated to 2 of 2. You can delete existing rows and add new rows when making corrections in an active expense sheet. To delete a row, check the specific row and click the Delete icon. To modify a row, make your corrections using in-cell editing and then click Save. Click the paperclip icon if you want to add an expense receipt photo to an existing row. Be sure to save your changes. To add a row, click the Add Row icon and enter the expense information as was shown earlier. When your expense sheet entries are complete, then click Submit or Approve as before. You can also customize your expense sheet settings. Make sure you're in an active expense sheet. Click the Gear Setup widget in the menu bar to open the Setup Options panel. There are several expense sheet configuration options, including getting an activation code for your mobile device. Once you have your options set and the expense sheet configured the way you want it, click Save to close the panel and save your settings. This concludes the tutorial on how to use Empire Expense.